Okay, so let's unpack this. I want you to picture a scenario, and I think this is going to feel painfully familiar to a lot of you listening.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
You're in a corporate environment, business is good, orders are flying in, but the process for handling those orders
Is stuck in the dark ages.
completely. It's the spreadsheet shuffle.
Yeah, the spreadsheet shuffle. Emails flying everywhere, people typing into a grid that 40 other people are also trying to edit.
It crashes, someone messes up a formula, and suddenly your inventory numbers are just gone. And when you hit that wall, you usually have two choices.
Right, the classic build versus buy dilemma.
Yeah.
You either live with the chaos or you go ask for what, $500,000 for a massive ERP system.
A huge enterprise resource planning system that takes 2 years to set up.
And everyone hates it anyway.
Exactly. But today, we're looking at a third option, a survivor, really. We're doing a deep dive into a system called GlamourKart.
And this isn't some prototype.
No, this isn't a Hello World tutorial. This is a live, custom-built order management system that has been successfully running for over a year.
And that timeline, over a year, that's the hook for me. Because we see these clever little tools pop up all the time.
Shadow IP, right?
Right, and they usually break. The person who built it leaves, the data gets too big, and the whole thing just collapses. But GlamourKart didn't.
Not only did it not collapse, the user who shared this with us says it has saved their company significant costs and man-hours. It's actually working.
So that's our mission.
Our mission is to figure out why. We're dissecting the actual code, the Google Apps script, the HTML, the whole backend logic to find the secret sauce.
We're going to see how a simple Google Sheet was turned into a really robust application. And it's fascinating because you can see these very deliberate choices the engineer made.
So let's start with the user experience, because if I'm an employee using GlamourKart, I'm not just staring at a grid of cells, am I?
No, and that is rule number 1 of how not to break your data.
Don't let people touch the raw data.
Never. If you give people raw access to a spreadsheet, they will find a way to break it, they'll delete a column, paste something weird. It's inevitable. GlamourKart just bypasses all of that.
So it treats the spreadsheet like a database in the background, not the interface.
Exactly. The code uses a specific function called doget. And for anyone who isn't a coder, doget is basically the handshake between your browser and the Google server.
Okay.
It tells the script, hey, when someone visits this link, don't show them the spreadsheet, show them this HTML file instead.
So to the user, it just looks like a clean, professional website.
Right, but here's the really interesting part. Before you even see that website, there's a bouncer at the door.
A bouncer.
Yeah. The very first thing that runs is a function called verify email.
I saw that. So it's not just an open link anyone can click on?
It is a hard security gate.
Yeah.
The system grabs the email of whoever's trying to log in, and it checks it against a list on a special tab called authorized users.
And what if I'm not on the list? Say, I'm just a nosy guy from marketing.
You get a response that just says unauthorized. The script literally swaps out the HTML. Instead of an order form, you get a big warning that says unauthorized user.
That's so simple, but think about the man-hours saved right there. You don't have random people breaking your order data.
Or placing fake orders. It establishes a chain of custody right from the start. If you're in, you're supposed to be in.
Okay, so the bouncer lets me in, I'm authorized, now I need to build an order. In the old spreadsheet world, I'd be typing in a distributor name, probably misspelling it.
Right, or you'd enter a product SKU that you stopped selling 3 years ago.
The classic garbage in, garbage out problem.
And that's where most of these systems die. The data gets so messy that someone has to spend their entire Friday just cleaning up typos.
So how does GlamourKart solve that?
With something called dependent dropdowns. The code has these functions like get distributors and get brands, but they're smart. They cascade.
What do you mean by cascade? Like a waterfall?
It's exactly like a waterfall. You pick a distributor from the first list. That choice then immediately filters the next dropdown to show you only the brands that specific distributor sells.
Ah, I get it.
Then you pick a brand, and the system filters the product master sheet. It finds all the matching products, and then, and this is a really nice technical touch, it uses something called new set.
New set. Okay, what is that doing?
It's a way of cleaning data on the fly. A set is just a collection of unique values. So if your master product list has P-shirt listed 500 times for different sizes,
Your dropdown would be a nightmare to scroll through.
a total nightmare. New set just collapses that down to one single clean entry, P-shirt. It removes all the duplicates instantly.
So the dropdown is actually usable.
It's spotless.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it makes it physically impossible to order a combination that doesn't exist. You can't order a Nike shoe from an Adidas-only distributor.
The system just won't let me.
It forces you to be correct. And that's where the time savings come from. You eliminate that whole back and forth of, hey, this SKU doesn't exist, what do you mean? It's just gone.
Okay, that covers the front end. It's smart, it's clean, it guides the user. But I want to pop the hood now and look at the engine, because usually these spreadsheet apps are slow.
Oh, they can be painfully slow.
Okay.
Like, go get a coffee while it calculates slow.
Yeah.
Google Apps script has execution time limits. If your code is inefficient, Google will just kill it mid-process.
And yet, this one has been running for a year. The source material talks about a specific optimization. What's the big secret?
It all comes down to how you talk to the spreadsheet. Imagine the spreadsheet is a warehouse across the street, and your computer's processor, where the script runs, is your office.
Okay, I'm with you.
The old, unoptimized way is like walking across the street to the warehouse to grab one single apple. You bring it back.
Right.
Then you walk all the way back across the street for the second apple.
That would take forever. You'd spend all your time just walking back and forth.
It's torture. In coding, that's called making a get value, call inside a loop. Each call is a network request. It takes time. For an order with 50 items, you're making the user wait for 50 of those round trips.
Which is when the screen freezes and you get frustrated. So how does GlamourKart do it? I see this function, get discounts for attributes.
This is the cost saver right here. This is the optimization. Instead of asking for one discount at a time, the script goes to the warehouse once.
It grabs a whole crate of apples.
It grabs the entire discounting sheet in one go and builds what we call a discount map in the computer's memory, a hash map. So when it needs a discount for a Nike t-shirt, it doesn't look at the spreadsheet.
It just looks at its own memory, which is fast.
It's instant. We're talking nanoseconds. It's the difference between looking up a word in a dictionary in your hand versus driving to the library.
And that's a massive performance gain.
Huge. And this idea of batch processing is everywhere in the code, not just for reading data, but for writing it too. Look at the submit order function.
Okay, I see it. It generates a unique order ID, which is smart, but then it does all the math inside the script.
Yes. It calculates the final discounted invoice value right there in the code. It's not relying on slow spreadsheet formulas to do the work later. It does the heavy lifting first.
It does the work, and then what?
And then it takes the entire order, maybe it's 50 rows of products, and it stuffs them into one big array. And for the grand finale, it uses one single command. Set values with an S.
Set values plural. Why is that so important?
That is what keeps this system alive. It takes that whole block of data and writes it to the order sheet in one single operation, one trip.
So instead of 50 trips to the warehouse, it's one truck that dumps everything at once.
Precisely. Writing row by row is the #1 killer of these kinds of apps. By using a batch operation, the system doesn't care if the order has 5 items or 500. The write time is basically the same. That's why it's still fast after a year.
That is a critical takeaway. Minimize your trips to the spreadsheet. Do your work in memory first.
Read once, process in memory, write once. It's the golden rule.
Okay, so the order is in the sheet. The user gets a success message, but the job isn't done. That order needs to get to someone.
Right, and this is the aftermath automation. This is where the real admin man-hours get saved. In the manual world, someone now has to copy-paste that order into an email.
And they'll forget to CC someone important or attach the wrong file.
Every time. GlamourKart automates this with a trigger-based function called check for new orders. Trigger-based is the key. It means no human has to click a button. The system just wakes up on its own, say every 10 minutes.
So like a little watchdog. But wait, if it wakes up every 10 minutes, how does it stop itself from sending the same email over and over again? Why don't I get a confirmation at 9.0, then 9.0, then 9.2 else?
That is the classic automation nightmare, isn't it? You're accidentally spamming your clients. This script has 2 layers of defense. First, it looks at column M in its data sheet for the word sent.
Simple enough. If it says sent, it just skips it.
Right. But good engineers are paranoid. What if someone accidentally deletes that word from the sheet?
The script would fire again. You'd look really unprofessional.
Exactly. So there's a second, much better failsafe, completely separate sheet called PO timestamps. The script keeps a permanent log there. It maps every order ID to the exact time an email was sent.
So before it sends anything, it checks that master log first.
It cross-references the log. It's what engineers call idempotency. You can run the script 1,000 times, and it will only perform the action once. It's anti-embarrassment engineering.
I love that phrase, anti-embarrassment engineering.
Okay, so it finds a new order. How does it know who to email?
This is clever too. It scans a whole range of columns, F through L, looking for email addresses so you can have the distributor, the sales rep, finance. Anyone needs to know.
But people are messy. They'll put commas or spaces or two emails in one cell.
And the script handles it. It splits the text by commas, filters out anything that doesn't have an @ symbol, and removes any duplicates. So the sales rep only gets one email, even if they're listed twice.
And the email itself, I'm looking at the code, it's not just plain text, it builds a proper HTML table. It does. It lists out the order ID, brand, SKU, quantity. It looks official. But there's one little line in the email body that really stood out to me.
What's that?
It says, "Note, a pro forma invoice will be sent to you shortly."
That seems pretty standard.
It is, but it's brilliant expectation management. It's not just about moving data, it's about managing the human on the other end. That one sentence stops the customer from hitting reply and asking, "Where's my invoice?"
It anticipates the next question and answers it ahead of time. It closes the loop.
Exactly. And to top it all off, the script even watches itself. At the very end, there's a logger that calculates the total time it took to run.
All done. Total time taken, 1.2 seconds.
The developer clearly cared about performance and wanted to see if the system was getting slower over time. That's a pro mindset.
So when you pull all the way back, from the clean web form to the validation that prevents errors, to the in-memory optimization, to the smart, safe emailer, it's an incredibly cohesive system.
It really is. It's a full-stack application built on tools that are effectively free if your company already uses Google Workspace.
Let's bring this all together. We asked why this tool survived for over a year and actually saved money.
And the answer seems to be, it respects the medium. It uses the spreadsheet for storage, which is what it's good at, and uses code for logic and UI, which is what spreadsheets are terrible at.
The savings, the man-hours, seem to fall into two big buckets then.
I think so. First, the front-end constraints. By forcing users to pick valid options, you just eliminate all that data cleanup time. No more fixing typos.
And the second bucket is the back-end batching.
Yep. It turns a 20-minute manual email process into a 0-minute background task. And because of those set values and discount map tricks, it scales. It doesn't get slower as the business grows.
And this is where it gets really provocative for me. We're taught that for serious business, you need serious software. You know, SAP, Salesforce, big price tags.
But GlamourKart kind of challenges that whole idea.
It really does. If a company can run its core ordering process for over a year using a script one analyst wrote, at what point do you actually need that expensive enterprise software?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? For a lot of workflows, that big software is actually worse. It's rigid. With GlamourKart, if you change your discount logic, you can update the script in an afternoon. With an ERP, that's a 6-month change request that costs a fortune.
So maybe the future isn't just about buying one giant system. Maybe it's about building these small, agile, bespoke tools that fit your process perfectly.
I think low-code doesn't have to mean low quality. If you apply solid engineering principles like the ones we saw here, you can build incredible things. GlamourKart is proof.
So for everyone listening, I want you to look at your own work tomorrow. Where are you just copy-pasting things all day? Where are you typing the same email over and over?
There is probably a GlamourKart waiting to be built in every single office.
I think you're right. That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.